fantastic day. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these. Feels like it's been a very long time. Yesterday I was very self-conscious of making a video. I just couldn't make one, but today I'm feeling a little bit more confident. Coming up to about 4 months now that I've been in Dubai, and man, the weather has just improved fantastically. Like when I first came here, it was August, like literally the beginning of August. It was so crazy hot, like 45, 46 degrees, like, and you just couldn't enjoy it at all. But now, look at this kitty. So as I was saying, yeah, but honestly the weather is now 29 degrees or something like that, so it's a lovely day out. But yeah, I've decided to move. Well, there's a few things really. I suppose mostly it comes down to economics. Here's the thing about Dubai. Dubai is really good if you have a stable income, or even like a Western income. If you have a Western salary, making honestly in terms of euro 2,000-3,000 euro a month, you can live really, I mean, not just comfortably, you can live fantastically, because the cost of living in Dubai, honestly, you compare it to Ireland, Canada, Australia, man, the cost of living here is so cheap. But the problem here is that every month I was having like a accommodation every month, hotel sort of thing, and I suppose for the full 4 months I was getting really good deals. So it kind of allowed me to sustain myself. I was an estate agent, commission only, make a lot of sales, you can make a lot of money, but if you're not making sales, I think it's kind of gotten to a stage where, well, we're coming into December now, probably the quote-unquote best time of the year. That comes with a premium when it comes to hotels, and ironically, a flight to Malaysia plus a hotel for the month works out to be cheaper than a hotel stay here. And honestly, I wasn't making much ground here in Dubai, and I guess this is more, I wouldn't consider a systemic thing in Dubai. I think it's very circumstantial. It's very much influenced by like how much success you're able to attain. What I'll say is there's a lot of variables, and if the things don't work well for you, then you just kind of have to, it's best to just kind of move on, try something different, whether that be searching for a more remote job, whether that be focusing more on stocks or any other sources of income. One thing I'm just kind of hesitant of doing is going back to Ireland. So I'm trying to think of positives and negatives. The positives of Dubai, one thing is the weather. It's phenomenal here. Look, have a look. It's raining petals from the trees, man. Look at this. So yeah, I've booked a flight to Malaysia because I was looking into where I should go next. It's like, okay, well, if this fails, do I just go back to Ireland? And I was like, look, I was able to sustain myself for this long, you know, out here. So I guess why not try that kind of nomadic lifestyle for a bit? My next destination is Malaysia, either way. I kind of made an assessment, and Malaysia is not going to be permanent, that's for sure. Might spend a few months there, 2 or 3 months, and then probably move on to some other country. I'll make my decision probably in Malaysia whether I want to come back to Ireland or not. But yeah, I mean, the thing here is I am a good bit homesick when it comes to Ireland, and I do miss it a lot. But when I think back to the troubles and the, I guess, social problems that we have in Ireland that just seem to be getting worse, progressively worse, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to get a decent job for me to return, or I'd have to be in dire straits. I'm not in a terrible position at the moment, so I want to continue on my sort of travels. But yeah, no, it's I guess I'm just rambling at the camera, trying to gather my thoughts. This is like my last or second last day. I do want to make the most of it in terms of the weather, in terms of walking around. But yeah, I guess I'll be doing I'm going to try upload a lot more on YouTube, trying to grow that a bit. I mean, I literally only have 33 subscribers at the moment, so at the time of this recording, I'm a small, tiny channel, so I would not be relying on this at all, nowhere near. But because while I don't have an actual job right now, not bound to any, like, you know, employment, I think I'm just gonna try and do this for a while, try and grow it a bit. But yeah, I mean, look, there's always the option of returning. That's kind of where my mind is at the moment. Dubai, I think a lot of people have they have really weird interpretations of how the UAE is run, how Dubai is run. A lot of the ideas that they have in their head is kind of blown out of proportion. I would say that they have like a caricature of Dubai. I mean, look, I did the whole luxury shopping thing, you know, I did the whole, you know, trying all the really expensive clothes, but I mean, that's kind of me going out of my way into those spheres of wealth. Of course, Dubai has tons of, like, I mean, it really is. It is the peak of where all the wealthy want to come, where they are going. You know, the money is here, that's for sure. But to say that Dubai is fake, I think this whole notion that Dubai is super fake and it's not real, and this is false, it's wrong. There are communities, there are people who are living here long term and make this their whole life. And I think it's more about breaking into it, right? So most people, the thing here is a lot of people don't realize that the biggest industry in Dubai is the tourism. So the tourism industry is really is what Dubai's economy runs off. So most people's perception of Dubai is going to be that of a tourist, right? So most people have a tourist idea, or they live in an incredibly westernized bubble. So a lot of people will, if they do move here, it's very much kind of in the expensive, high-end, decadent areas. They're out drinking every Saturday. Like, they basically bring their Western lifestyle and they just transplant it here in Dubai. And then they go back and they say, well, Dubai has no soul and it's empty and it's hollow. But I mean, when in actuality it was really just you bringing your hollowness to a country. It does have its own culture, you know. It's wrong to say that the Emiratis don't have their own culture and that it isn't visible. It's very visible. Like, they're everywhere, but they're a minority, 100%. They're a small minority, but they are a very visible and present minority. And I guess it's just how they run their country. I know obviously there's a lot of, you know, there is a big political thing going on with the UAE. It's in some really, really bad light at the moment. But that aside, in terms of actually living here, I would say if I managed to get a secure, stable income that was decent enough, okay-ish, man, you can live a really, really nice life. But at the end of the day, you're always going to be away from family. You're always going to be away from home. You're always going to be a foreigner. So I think because everyone here is, the vast majority of people here are not native, they are foreigners. And you'll never become an Emirati either. That's why people think it's so fake and artificial. I mean, even this park realistically couldn't exist without the maintenance, without all the water, without all the sprinklers and the gardeners and everything. But I mean, you could argue that's kind of that's like that for most, like even most of Europe. Like, you think the grass like this is going to maintain itself in Ireland? I mean, it'll grow, but it'll just keep growing. It has to be cut, it has to be looked after. And so what the Emiratis do is they just do that on a much more larger scale. You know, I would say one big negative I think is the driving. There's quite a lot of traffic in Dubai. It's quite hectic. And I've driven here in Dubai. I've had my own car. I've had two cars actually, rental cars of course. Obviously the tolls, there's the tax. I mean, like, it is tax free, but they will get you of course in little fees and fines, and they will always catch you with that. So here's the thing, if Dubai was so bad and it wasn't worth it and it wasn't all that it's made out to be, then you'd see the population shrinking, not growing. And so I guess Dubai is just it's a weird dynamic of rich people coming in. I would say it's where the rich and the poor meet. That's what I would say. And the poor, let's say from the third world countries, they come over and yeah, they're making not Western salaries, but it's cheap labor, but it's not as cheap as where they would be. They're making multiple times what they would be making in their home country. And then for any Westerner, they're like, it is like people say, well, the rent and the property is expensive. The apartments are everywhere. They keep building. The supply is constant. So there's always a fantastic supply of one beds, unlike many Western countries where the supply is restricted. Yeah, and you just have, that's just the dynamic. It's an opportunity for the rich and the poor. But I guess for people who are in the middle, they have to find their own little wedge, find their own little gap in the market. I'm not saying that I'll never come back to Dubai, I might. But for now, closing off on the 2025 chapter, yeah, I think my Dubai experience is over for this year. And would I do it next year? I don't know, depends on my circumstances. If I get a good job offer, if I find something that works well, or heck, if even something works for me, like if my stocks go really well for me, or my YouTube goes well, or something else, internet money, then definitely, yeah. I think another thing about Dubai is that it's so safe, so secure. And even in this park, there's security guards. There's just an element of safety that you're just not going to find anywhere in a metropolitan place in Europe or in the West. And people think that's down to draconian laws, or, you know, at the end of the day, it's down to an implementation of laws that are respected. you know, whether you like it or not, people respect the law. And I guess also there's also a cultural aspect to it as well. There's a cultural element. I think there's something about the Western culture, ironically, that is quite rebellious when it comes to law and enforcement. There's this aggressive idea of super freedom, you know, and I guess a lot of native people and a lot of foreigners that come over, you know, they like to exploit it. So, but yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna make more videos. I don't know if that's my goal. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm gonna have to edit this as well, go through it. Which I just want to kind of update you guys. I will be going to Malaysia, inshallah. And yeah, it's weird. I mean, like, even though I'm getting a tiny amount of growth, it's nice to see, you know, especially when you see a small amount of subscribers kind of grow, even by 4 or 5. It's nice. So for anyone who's watching this and you want to follow, subscribe, like, comment, you know what I mean, do all that fancy stuff, and I'll be updating, posting more. I mean, it's going to be random as well. I really don't have any strict, rigid kind of things that I'm, you know, one might be a vlog, one might be a political rant, one might be an economic rant. I'd like to rant more about Ireland, but I don't know. It feels like Ireland is just is a bit too divided. It's very nuanced. There's layers upon layers in Ireland. I might start creeping into those rants though, but I don't know. It's also hyper specific as well, and I don't kind of want to get people to get the wrong ideas or the wrong kind of that sort of racist kind of aspect. I know a lot of people don't really even like that word anymore, racism, but unfortunately there is a lot of it behind a lot of that politics, and that's definitely for another video. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day walking around this park, and guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, peace.